Good evening, dear students. Let us today I am going to teach you the seventh program of our System Software Lab. The seventh program, according to the syllabus, that is uh, 18 CS 18 CSL 66 System Software Laboratory. The seventh program it belongs to the operating system. So 6, 7, 8 and 9, all the three programs, it belongs to the operating system, which you must have studied. So I have copied here the seventh program theory part here. So what the seventh program it is telling is design, develop and implement, or C, I can make it quick. Okay. Okay. Design, develop and implement a C or C++ or Java program to simulate the working of shortest remaining time and round robin RR program scheduling algorithm experiments with different quantum sizes for round robin algorithm. Here two algorithms we have to execute in same program. So first is shortest remaining time, shortest remaining time, and second one is round robin scheduling algorithm. So let us study what is the shortest remaining time algorithm. The here some processes will be there P1, P2, P3. They need some resources. They will be using some resources, and how long they will use that resource, that is called the burst time. So P1 is using, suppose P1 is using a resource for 7 seconds, P2 is using it for 3 seconds, and P2 is using for 3 seconds, and P3 is using for 4 seconds. Okay, in the cube, process will come one by one. They don't all be there at the same time. So that is called the process queue. Now suppose P1 is coming, arriving in the queue at 0 seconds. Means already whenever execution is started, process P1 is there. So that is called the arrival time. Then P2 is coming after 1 second of the starting of the scheduling. Then P3 is coming after 3 seconds. So that is arrival time of P3 is 3, P2 is 1 and P1 is 0. Process burst time. Now the Gantt chart for SRTF will be. Let us see how the process will be executing the resources. So at the 0 time, in this one shortest remaining time, the process which has lowest burst time, which will be using the resource for shortest time, that process will be only allocated the resources first. So since at the time of 0, P1 is there in the queue, P2, P3 are not there. Though P1 has the high burst time, 7 seconds, but since P2 and P3 are not there in the queue, they have not yet arrived. So P1 will be allocated the resource for 1 second, because at 1 second P2 has come. So P1 will be allocated the resources for 1 second. Next, at 1 second, P2 has come, which has burst time 3 seconds, and since P1 is allocated for 1 second, so its remaining burst time is 6. So 6 and 3, which is smaller, shorter, that is P2. So P2 will be used for next 2 seconds, because at the third second again P4 has come. So P2 and P2 will be used, allocated the resources for next 2 seconds. So 2 seconds P2 is allocated. Now P1, P2 has 1 second burst time, P3 has 4 seconds and P1 has 6 seconds. So now which has the shorter shortest burst time, still P2 only had, because it has only one. Next, so P2 will be allocated for next 1 second also. Now P2 is completed. It has 3 burst time, which is over at the 4 second. Now between P1 and P3, which had the shortest time? Now all processes have arrived in the queue. So P3 had 4 second of burst time, and P1 had 6 second remaining burst time. So definitely P3 has the shortest. P3 has shorter burst time than P1. So P3 will be allocated for next 4 seconds. So here 1, 2, 3 and 4. 4 seconds P3 is allocated. Next remaining 6 seconds P1 will be allocated, because only P1 is left for allocation. So remaining P2 and P3, they have completed their execution with the resource. So P1 next 6 seconds will be allocated to P1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we have to find out some parameters like turnaround time and waiting time, average turnaround time and average waiting time. So let us see what is turnaround time. What is turnaround time? Turnaround time is the completion time minus arrival time. Completion time minus arrival time. So P1 has, when it has completed, P1 has completed at 14 seconds, and when it has arrived 0. So 14 minus 0 is 14. Then P2, when it has completed, P2 has completed at 4 seconds, and when it has arrived at 1 second. So 4 minus 1 is 3. And P3, when it has completed, P3 has completed at 8, and when it has arrived after 3 seconds. So 8 minus 3, that is 5. Now waiting time is equal to turnaround time minus burst time. So what is turnaround time for P1? P1 turnaround time is 14 minus burst time is 7. So 14 minus 7 is 7. Then P2, what is turnaround time of P2? 3. So 3 minus, what is the burst time for 3? For P2 it is 3. So 3 minus 3 is 0. And P3, what is the turnaround time for P3? 5 minus burst time is 4. So 5 minus 4 is 1. Logically also, if you see that P3 is allocated here at 4 seconds, and when it has arrived at 3. So 4 minus 3 is 1 second. Next is P2. When it is allocated the system at 1 second, and when it has arrived at 1 second only. So 1 minus 1 is 0. P1, when it has come, P1 is waiting from here till here. P1 is waiting from 1 second till 8 seconds. After that, P1 is not waiting here from 8 to 14. 0 to 1 also it is not waiting. So let us see, count how long time P1 is waiting. So here 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5, 6, 7. So 7 seconds it is waiting. So this is 7. Now average waiting time. Average waiting time, how to find out? Average waiting time equal to waiting time for time of all processes divided by number of process. So here total waiting time how much? 7 plus 0 plus 1 is 8. 8 divided by 3. Number of process is 3. That is equal to 2.66. Next we have to find out average turnaround time. Average turnaround time equal to total turnaround time divided by 3. So for total turnaround time is 14 plus 3, 17 plus 5, 22. 22 by 3 equal to 7.5.